Whoops. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You like that?
What?
I was like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we were
act
all
not surprised.
looking. We're all looking up. So we're back in the studio today. We don't have our tall chair, so we will be looking up at the screen at you guys here. I will try to focus on you guys here.
It's because you guys are my
Welcome
sunshine.
to what?
It's because they are my sunshine.
Oh, you got to look up.
My only sunshine.
We have Vincent and Al in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys.
Sup?
So this is I'd Back That Kickstarter, and we're going to be talking about. You go ahead and talk about what we're going to be talking about. I got to fix
All
something.
the different games. Oh, all right. We got Tasty Humans. We've got Dwellings of Eldervale. We have got Eternal Adversary, and the last one we have is Materia, which is like a 3-part JRPG.
Yeah. Also,
JRPG.
I'm going to be like a super villain today.
I'm not gonna be a super villain.
I'm going to be a super villain about some of these games, guys. I have some issues with some of these games, and I know they're huge games too. So, like,
Leo's on the line.
yay! Thanks for joining us, guys.
There's no Greg.
Yes.
Greg is a Dice Tower
Greg-
con like a nerd.
Yeah. Well, and not like a nerd. I mean, he deserves to go to a convention
Does
every
he?
once in a while.
Does he?
I
There's a
mean,
convention here he could have gone to.
That's true. We're going to be at Crit Hit 4 this weekend.
The
With
Summer of Summoning.
Silver Key Games. We're going to be playing games
Silver
over
Key
there.
Lounge.
Or yeah, Silver Key Lounge.
A
Apologies.
board game lounge.
Yeah, it's like going to be a board game pub. I'm really excited about it. They're going to be opening this summer, and they're actually going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign. So that's going to be interesting too, and it's going to be like a hub to buy Kickstarters that you didn't go ahead and purchase previously.
Oh yeah. Alan's talking about Space Explorers. He's got it coming in today. You played that recently. That's the
Yes.
Century First Games one.
Oh, that Space Explorers
I
game.
haven't gotten to play it
oh
yet,
my
but
gosh.
she's ready to show it to me. Probably
I'm gonna have to
tonight,
talk
I'm
to you
guessing.
guys about that game separately. Like I have some games that I think I'm just gonna end up talking to you guys about because there's Space Explorers that we played. What was the other one? The Tricky Tides that we played. That's really good. There's a bunch of really great games that we've
We
played
played
lately.
the Century Spice Road New World.
Oh yeah, that I just want to talk about those
Century New
ones.
World.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that stuff later. But
Pipeline.
Pipeline.
I can keep naming stuff.
Oh my
Maximum
gosh,
Apocalypse.
right? Oh
We
my
played a lot of
goodness.
new games recently, which is good. You always want to do that.
Okay.
Oh, there's my dog.
So let's get started. First up, we have Tasty Humans. This is by Pangea Games. It's going to be for 1 to 4 players. It's going to last for 30 to 60 minutes. And let's get this party started here. This has the most adorable theme to it, like honestly. What do you guys think about this one? I love, well, this goes along with the Maleficent thing. I love watching and playing games that
You get to be the bad guy.
right, I want to be the bad guy so bad, guys. I just want to be the bad guy.
She is the bad guy.
Yay, thanks for joining us, Robert White. We're so happy to have you here live today. Exactly. I am missing the mustache, but we're full evil today. I'm going to be being really mean about some games and we're going to talk about
Oh my
evil
gosh, you're
games.
gonna be mean?
I am. I'm going to be
Are you
mean
gonna have
today.
a discerning eye?
I am. This one here though, I'm really excited about.
I like the art on this one a lot.
Yeah, and not only is it a cute theme, but the gameplay in it, I really like how you're choosing everything in here. There's a lot of meaningful choices when you're going through and looking at the cards because as you're selecting humans to eat, the other adventures and stuff like that can attack you and everything, and things change on the board with that. So you have to really think about what you're choosing and as well as what you're putting in your stomach for this game.
Well, this is a big spatial puzzle, right? Where you're trying to figure out like where these little individual
Oh,
pieces need to go to
absolutely.
maximize your points and everything.
Yeah, if you don't like puzzly, spatial sort of games, I wouldn't recommend this game. But if that is your jam, like this is it. Because whenever you're selecting those humans, you sort of have that spatial puzzle where you're figuring out, okay, where exactly can I go to get a human and not sustain a bunch of damage or create the best grouping of characters whenever they fall down, and then also where can I put the things in my stomach to maximize my points, which I also love. This is also a $25 game, guys.
Which is
25
really
bucks.
nice.
Huge.
I'm super distracted by my dog right now.
I
Who's over
know,
here
you
trying to
are.
sit on my computer.
He's
He's fine. He's fine. And he was like sniffing at like dice and stuff, like he was gonna eat them. That's fine.
Is there any wonder you went in on goblins are angry? Exactly. I mean,
I'm a big fan of the
bad
villain
guys,
ones too.
yeah, the bad guys
Well,
deserve some love, guys.
Like one of the things I like the most about Spirit Island is that you're getting to play as like the gods and stopping invaders from taking over and trying to get the villagers to worship you. I like ones where the theme is just different. You're not just playing like the same thing over and over and over and over
I don't
again.
always want to be the hero. Sometimes I want to wreck things. That's what I want to do
Sometimes.
sometimes. Okay, most of the time I want to wreck things.
Demo
When
crew.
they came out with the Rampage game, it's now Terra Meeple City.
Yeah.
Like that was all, I was all in. You're a
That's
monster. You get to wreck buildings.
that's why you like King of Tokyo so much, because you're a monster that gets to fight
No,
over Tokyo.
you fight other monsters, and that's not as much fun.
That is 100% a lot of fun. You
It's
just want to
not as
kill
much
without
fun.
having to be any threat. So you basically want to be a cat chasing around like a tiny
Well,
like a tiny lizard.
well.
You don't want to be a cat fighting another cat. You just want to be a cat chasing a lizard.
So, Dr. Gloryhogg, since you don't like spatial games, how do you feel about this one?
So I like the theming of it. I think that looks really cool. That's what initially drew me to it. I like the price point. This is going to be one of those ones
You like the
that,
art?
yes, I feel like it's going to just be kind of like one of those really brain burnery puzzle ones that for me, I'm just going to find it more annoying than fun. Now, that's not to say that it won't be fun for a lot of people, but I just don't really enjoy these types of games. Like, I don't mind the polyominoes and trying to stack it up Tetris style. Like, that can be kind of fun.
Okay.
But this one's just like trying to maximize points and everything. I don't know if it's going to be something that's going to be amazing for me. I
Okay.
definitely would have to play it to say if the puzzle's worth it in the end. Because a lot of these games have you do all this complicated math or puzzles, and then in the end, I'm like, was that even worth it? I have no problem doing crazy complicated math in a survival game, like a co-op, or in like Magic the Gathering, where there's like 6 spells on the stack, and I'm trying to calculate. So it's not the puzzle; it's the puzzliness, the spatial puzzle that I don't enjoy, not the actual math portion. To be clear. So I'm just worried that it's going to be very complicated for
That
like
you're going to
very
be
little
like
reward.
super dry with that.
Yeah, I don't want to spend like 30 minutes trying to put together like this epic thing and then be like,
It
cool,
is
I
a
lost by
30
1
to
point.
60-minute game.
Yeah, I don't want to lose by 1 point to
I'm
you
down
because you're
though.
just better at seeing patterns than I am.
I'm down though for this being like a one player though. If you can do a one player portion of this, like a solo game, I mean, I'm down with solo puzzle style
You just
games.
like these, like the roll and writes and the puzzle games more than I do, period. I like a nice big theme and I like to feel like I'm doing something fun. Eating humans would be like awesome, I'm sure, but
So this has 18
I need to be able to like punch other dragons or something.
punch other dragons.
Yeah, that's King of Tokyo. You're like a dragon fighting other dragons.
This
and
also
such.
has 18 days left to go, and it's just over, like 1,000 over. What do you think? Do you think that where they put this project right before Gen Con that it hurt the project because it's a smaller project?
It depends on if they're going to be at Gen Con or not, because that could be the real big boost. If they're at Gen Con, they can really direct people to this Kickstarter, which I think is always really good.
Yeah.
But this last month has been very brutal as far as
Yeah,
just games
there's
coming
been
out.
a ton
There's
of
still another
stuff.
huge
Ton.
game that's coming out like in the next 2 weeks that I'm going to be, Dice Throne Adventures that
Oh gosh,
we're
I
gonna
cannot
go
wait
all
for
in
that
on
one.
that.
We're
So,
gonna
like,
talk about that one too.
it's getting tough. It's getting tough. There's a lot of good stuff out right now.
Right, and yeah, Ellen says, "Yep, Kat, I think of it as a good solo puzzle game." And I used to not be a solo sort of gamer, but they're coming out with so many solo puzzle style games that's just really exciting for me because if I want to spend, 15 minutes here or there and just kind of going back and forth with it and stuff and play a little game on the side on my own, like I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I think the big thing is I'll come into the studio and I'll see you playing Tetris, um, where you'll never come into the bedroom where I'm playing Tetris, and that's not because it's a bad game. I'll play it with you. I'll play
Right.
it to kill time on my phone or something, but you'll never just see me going out of my way to play Tetris. I'm going to play like Last of Us, or I'm going to play something that's like more thematic and has a little bit more to it than just a puzzle for puzzle's sake.
And Vincent says, starts as 2 players, then you eat the other player. Solo, sorted.
Perfect.
Boom.
If you could actually somehow attack the other dragon, I'd probably be more in on this.
All right, guys, let us know in the comments if you guys are going to back this game and then why you guys are going to back it because I feel like there should be more like to do with this one. Like there should be more hype. But I think it is just the time that it is released. There's
sometimes
so much hype with
the
everything
inexpensive
else.
games can kind of get overlooked
Yeah,
because
it's like
people just go,
$25, guys.
well, because people go cool and they back it and then they move
$25.
on. They don't feel
It's
like they
like-
need to hype.
Sorry.
So they feel like they can just back it and move on. They don't feel like they need to hype it up to all their friends and stuff because they're like, oh yeah, it's funded. I'm gonna get it. It's a game. It's $25. I did it. Where if you're spending $100+ in a game, you're like, guys, you gotta check this out. Like
Lots
jump
of
in on
stretch
this.
goals.
Tons of stretch goals. Exactly. And I think that can kind of make the difference for some
Okay.
of these smaller games.
All right. Next up, we have Dwellings of not Everdale.
Eldervale.
Eldervale. I'm going to mess up on it so many times, guys. I apologize. This is by Breaking Games. It's for 1 to 5 players. It lasts about 60 to 150 minutes. This is a big box game that is like
Is that our tiny human?
Yeah, that's our tiny human that just.
She's back. Grandma dropped her off.
It's a big box game that has a story sort of with it and
Yeah.
stuff. It reminds me of like, is this the one that reminds me of like Gloomhaven? No, this is Area Control.
Yeah,
With
so,
okay,
so
so
this one reminds me of Scythe because it's
this
worker
one,
placement,
yeah,
area control, and then tableau building with asymmetrical powers.
and it has the game trays in it and stuff like that, which
Really
are
nice.
fantastic.
Which is kind of like
looking. Okay,
small world-ish, kind of, where you've got the different factions that kind of do slightly different things.
so with this one here, I was thinking it was a huge big box game, and then I was like, oh no, this is like a lighter worker placement game with like a big box game feel to it, and I
Right.
loved that portion of it a lot. This is my choice one.
I know, I'm trying to
okay.
read past our camera.
Yeah, sorry, our camera's in the way of our
Leo
comments.
is all about dwellings, which is good.
Yeah, and I love area control games.
So, Robert, do you think that Tasty Humans is fiddly or dwellings? Let us know, because I'm curious.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe that was the comments before on
Yeah, it
Tasty.
might have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but this one really gives me kind of like where I feel like you have that Scythe vibe where you're like, okay, so I'm doing my thing,
think
like
so
my
too.
worker placement, and I'm also trying to control different areas and fight people for them while there's a monster roaming around that you can either fight or not fight, trying to complete objectives or quests or spells or prophecies, whatever they want to call them, in front of you, and also having a tablet building, all while you're saying, I have a special power that you don't. Well, you've got different meeples that do different things. You've got wizards and all this different stuff. So I think there's a lot going on in it. And typically a game that goes, an hour to 2 hours plus is one that would kind of be, or I'd be kind of like really kind of giving it like a really hard eye and be like, is this something I want to do all
Yeah, you're
night?
like, do I
feel
want
like
to?
I do want to do this all
I
night.
think so, absolutely.
Because they did like the tropes that you'd expect, like fire, water, earth, but they also did like light and dark. And then they're like, oh yeah, and order and chaos. And I think there's just enough different factions and the way it's laid out where you just grab your tray and play that I think it's going to be really, really good.
And there's a lot going on in this game. So you're selecting like the cards, the little quest cards going out, and then you're trying to manage the magic, and then you're also trying to manage the board and collect sets of things. And I love games like that because I feel like there's not one way to win.
Oh,
you
no,
know?
you can go a couple different paths with this.
Right.
For sure.
And then the more players you get in, the harder it is to figure out those particular ways to win. And I love, love, love games like that. I love the theming in this and the art and everything, how it looks like a giant, huge fantasy, big box game.
Oh, yeah.
They took a lot of time with. So the base set for this is $69, and you get all of the wooden meeples. You get the game trays inside of it. Like, you get a lot of game for $70.
Right, and you get standees, and there's a lot of cool stuff. But then there's also the deluxe
They have the
version,
deluxe version,
which
yeah.
at first I was 100% pass on the deluxe.
It was
'cause I
like $100.
Right, because I was like, oh, it's just got some coins, and then you get like, you get the figurines, which are going to be cooler than the standees. I'm like, oh, I'm going to pass, but you actually get additional monsters with the deluxe.
Oh, do you?
There's
okay.
at least 3 unlocked that I saw.
Okay, so
and your cardboard resources right there, those get changed over to wood, which is not a deal breaker for me. I mean, I like upgraded components. Who
yeah,
doesn't?
they upgraded all the components.
But at first
in
I was like, it's not really worth it because I'm actually a person that will back something at a higher level for a game tray.
Oh, yeah,
where
absolutely.
I won't for just components unless
But
they're really good looking.
I like the fact that they put game trays in the base level because a lot of times I don't want to have to back the deluxe one just
Right.
for the game trays. Let's see here. Do you see the puzzles
Yes.
online for the free figure?
So there's a puzzle for the Minotaur. You can either spend $10 to get the Minotaur, or you can do this puzzle for the Minotaur. And I'm going to do that freaking puzzle to get the code.
Are you?
Oh, because it's a Minotaur. I'm 100% in on any kind of Minotaur related. There's a few fantasy creatures that I'm a big fan of, and Minotaurs is definitely one of them. They're like the best of all worlds.
Yeah, and Vincent says,
You get
like
to
the
gore
look
people? Come on, how great is that?
and sound of this one a lot. Yeah, this one was top of our list this
I didn't
week,
even think
guys.
about that. All the animals I really enjoy get to gore people with tusks or horns.
Ugh,
Bulls,
awkward,
hogs.
awkward.
Nice.
And we should probably post something up on our Facebook for that puzzle. That would be really fantastic on that.
thing.
So
This
that we
has
can
a-
all work together on that, you
This
know?
does have a solo play. I don't know. So this kind of reminds me of like Maximum Apocalypse has a solo play, and I was so close to playing it when you were out playing games with Game Boy Geek,
Yeah.
and I was very close to doing it, but I don't want to play a 2-hour game by myself, right?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of what kept me away from this. But this one does have a solo, and if you keep scrolling, so you get those figures, which everybody gets, but you get those.
Those
The
guys
eighth
there.
elements or monster minis. I believe that's just for deluxe. Oh, and the sound bases.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask our
Are these like
audience
those?
about this.
Are these like those cans that like you tip and they go moo
No, I think
moo? Because they do
you
it when
could
you
shut
move
them
them.
on and off, though.
Yeah, but when you move them is when they make the noise. So for me, in my mind, I'm picturing one of those cans that whenever you lift it up, it goes moo moo. I
Oh
don't know
my
how
God.
cow sound apparently.
So this is the first time that I'm really seeing like these FX base sort of things in here,
Which is
and
nice though.
yeah, it adds a whole new interesting thing to it.
My favorite part about Zombie 15 is the growl that you get.
Oh,
And that alerts
having
you
the
to pour
soundtrack.
zombies onto the board.
Yeah.
So you're like, "Rah," and you're like, oh crap, and you got to pour. So it adds like that kind of anticipation. And this, I feel like this is gonna do the same thing when you're moving that guy, and it's like, I don't know what kind of sound a crazy crocodile will make, like, I don't know, but basically it'll make a bunch of noise as whenever you pick it up and move it. That'll be pretty sweet.
Ellen says go big or go home deluxe times 2. Wow.
So I'm happy because I was gonna skip the deluxe, and then I kind of saw some of the extra components. I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
I think I do.
the extra components in this one is crazy.
And the overall just the quality of the game trays and everything makes me really feel like this is one that we're going to keep in our collection and play again and again and again. And it's never going to feel like this is such a pain to set up. This sucks to have to put it away. Where there's a lot of games we have where the setup time really kind of detracts from the overall gameplay.
Right, and the game trays help a lot with that.
Yeah.
So Robert is also saying, I love the fact that you don't have to sort each faction.
Yeah.
And it's ready to go out of the box. And that's exactly it. Without those game trays, things can be cumbersome. And this is just super simple setup, having it all together. You just hand somebody, okay, you're going to be playing green. Here's your game tray. Throw the game trays out on the table and open them up, and boom, you're done. Yeah, the FX spaces are 140 with everything. But, like, are you guys...
Oh, okay. So that's a separate tier. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's 3 different tiers on that.
Oh, I thought it was just the 2 tiers.
But is that something that you guys are interested in? Because it's something that I haven't seen before, and for me, like, I like the idea of having the FX
Yeah.
spaces. I think it's awesome.
I don't know if I'd pay $40
But I don't know
for it,
if
though.
I'm going to purchase them or not. You know, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
$40 is more than I'd want to spend on just noise.
I want to know what you guys are purchasing on that, and if that's something that is a draw for you, or if you're just like, oh, that's a really cool idea, or maybe I'll get it later or something whenever the backer kit drops.
And everybody's got their own thing. For me, the 2 ways to get me to, or there's 3 things that could potentially get me to go from a base pledge to an upgrade pledge. And I'm usually a harder sell than you. It's additional figures or more content, right? Like you're going to get more bad guys, more this or more that. That always makes me want to do it for sure. Then metal coins can sometimes make me want to do it because metal coins just look awesome when you get like those deluxified metal coins. But the other big one is game trays, like having having it organized nicely so we don't have to, and just feeling like you can just get it out and play it. So with already having the game trays, like that was already a big selling point for me. It gets some coins, which is like a nice little bonus, but really the extra characters I think is what really sells me on that deluxe.
Extra characters on the deluxe. Yeah, I'm thinking that the deluxe is that sweet spot for me as well, because
you got to move that camera. It's, like
it's a
right
lot
where
of it's a lot of extra stuff. Sorry, I know our camera. I'll
Hey,
switch.
tiny
I'll
child.
switch. No, I'll just switch screens. Calm down. Calm down.
I was
we got
gonna make
this. We
the
got
tiny child
this.
crawl underneath one camera, come up, move another camera.
We have dogs. We have cameras.
Oh,
we have
but now there's
audience
a camera
up in
front of my
here.
face, and I can't see
I'm
myself.
sorry. I'm
How
so
can I
sorry. All right. So, yeah, I'm gonna say I'd back this. So I'd back Tasty Humans, and I'd back this one this week.
Okay. And them saying that they're not convinced.
Ooh,
This is the
okay.
only one that I've watched the preview like at the very top of the Kickstarter
40-minute
like
tutorial.
4 times. Because like I'm actually just super pumped about it. They did a really good job. I've seen it at a lot of conventions. It's got some really just memorable quotes from people who played it, like James Hudson, which just says, "Stupid good." And Tom Vassell tried to get all eloquent, and he's like, "Well, yeah, you get to do a lot of work, blah, 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 blah. I got to control a giant monster." It just shows you, like, when people that play games professionally, right, are so excited about the theme of a game, that makes me excited. Because I'm like, these guys play games all the time.
Right.
So for them to be excited about something says something, because they play a ton more games than we do.
That's true. So we're going to tell you something about people's comments on games, okay? If you're reading a media person's comment on a game and their comments are like, yes, this gameplay is
Cute
very
art.
strategic and it has fantastic art, they maybe possibly
They're in the mid.
did not enjoy that game to the fullest. It's
usually means it's an okay game, but not one
yeah.
that they're like they
Yeah.
have to go out and get
When
themselves.
you get comments like "stupid good," "dang, I got to control a awesome looking monster," like you
That
can
means
see
they
that the
had
people are
fun.
excited about
Yeah.
that game. Yeah, it's like little tiny things that you notice, and you don't notice it until like you have to start doing it for things.
Yeah, when
So
curmudgeons are like, I gotta try a giant monster. I mean, Tom does so many different games that I could see him just being bored, like to a point where it's his job
that's
now.
true.
So when you get excited about one of them, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
And they've been everywhere. I mean, they tried to get us set up with a game. There was just a kind of a snafu, scheduling snafu, but we tried to get set up for a game for this at Dice Tower West. It's been out. It's been around. I know a ton of people have played it. Everybody's really excited
Really
about it.
gotten excited
When
about
you've
it.
got people that are like full-time content creators and they're like, yeah, I'm going to back this, that means they're going to spend their money on it, the money they get from doing this stuff. And that says something.
Yeah. Quest for
Because there's a
the
lot of games I would like for
Minotaur.
free. There's not as many that I'd like to pay for.
All right, guys. I'm 100% down with this. You're 100% down with this?
Yeah, I think deluxe.
All
too.
right, guys. Are you
We
ready
got to
for
get that
me
Minotaur.
to start poo-pooing on everything? I'm so excited. I'm so sorry, guys. This is like, we're talking about super huge games, and I'm having some issues with some of these. I'm going to play some of this, although it's people mostly talking here. Should I even? I don't think I should play it. Maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's
We'll
fine.
scroll down a little bit. Okay. So,
This is, first off, I want to just start off with this thing is stupid funded at $2 million.
yeah. Crazy funded.
Yeah, like this is funded more than any of all the other games put together.
They're labeling this a JRPG.
Oh, I could get into that.
This is by Succubus Publishing. It's for 1 to 4 players, lasts 60 minutes. It reminds me of Gloomhaven because it's a story-driven sort of modular board system
RPG.
campaign where you're going through it. You're going to be rolling on this one. You're going to be rolling dice as opposed to laying down cards with like Gloomhaven, but you're going to have stories involved in things. So you're going to make choices, and then you're going to have. Oh, thank you.
Some erasable markers. Nice.
And you're going to have
Tiny Human came in just for that.
I know, that was awesome. You're going to have stories involved in this campaign. And I love story-driven campaigns
Right.
where I go through a scenario and then I make a choice and I'm like, "Dang it. Now I want to know what the other choice is."
Right, and we've talked about that too, where there's some games we play where you're like, oh, like so like Maximum Apocalypse is really good, but then when you beat it, you're like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's just over. Like
You're
you
like,
get a short little blurb
"Yay, that
before
was
you play, and then that's it. And then like
I love the game, but
right, you kind of
like
wish there was like
I
a,
want like
a
the
success card or a
yeah,
failure
the
card.
ending like, "Yay,
That's
you
what I
won."
always liked about time stories, or you got like, if you did a success, you got
Mhm.
this. If you failed, you kind of got this. You kind of were like, you felt like you got different outcomes, and it mattered.
I also like the fact that Succubus Publishing, they published the initial game on this and they had some issues going through it, like getting
I think
it
it just took
totally
more
created. And
time,
it took a
yeah.
lot of time, but
And it was more work than they thought.
they stayed on it and now they're coming back to this campaign. They're like, all right, we're going to make this campaign bigger and better, and we realized all the footfalls that we have, and now we're prepared.
All the
Like we're
pitfalls,
yeah, we're gonna create a better game for you guys, and they're offering the base game along with the 2 successions to the game
right,
as a
the
full
trilogy,
package. Yeah,
which is always nice when they know like, here's our full trilogy, so you're gonna get the best story that way, versus
Right.
them going like, oh, I guess we need to make a second part. Oh, I guess we need to make a third part.
so you can get just the core game on this for 115, or you can get like the entire thing for 275. I think it is.
I believe it is
It's
around that price.
expensive. You're getting a lot of miniatures though in story here, and
Yeah,
I think
you're getting 3 games at that 275 price essentially.
comparatively, you have Dwellings of Everdale, which is this fantasy style game. Well, both of them are fantasy style games. One's worker placement, one's RPG story, and you're looking at the different price lines for that. And I think that with the 115, you're getting. Oh gosh, with the 115, you're getting. Sorry, we got the
My
Glory
daughter wanted
Bear.
everyone to see this.
Our
This is something that you sketched this up, right?
I did.
Just like as a mess around thing. So there you go.
Our
You can now see
Glory
it.
Bear's in the house watching our stream today, guys.
She wanted to roll in, so now you're officially part of it. There you go, kid.
So you're paying for the story portion. Somebody
Right.
has to write all these stories. Somebody has to write. You're basically paying for several published books worth
Well,
of content as well.
this is kind of like that new genre where it's like it's a board game with miniatures, dungeon
Yeah.
crawly, but also there's a big story behind it where it's an RPG,
Mhm.
and they kind of merge them together.
And Robert says, I was ready to jump in on the Middara bandwagon, and I have cooled on it for now. Why did you end up cooling on it? Because I'm going to tell you guys why I don't like the game here in a few minutes. And it's going to probably sound like super nitpicky, but I think it's very justified. And Ellen says, I think the total package cost just made me run away. I wasn't excited, and if you don't get the whole thing, why bother jumping in? That
Yeah, I
makes
could
sense.
see that because it is kind of one of those things that
It's
if you
story
don't
driven.
right, and if you don't get it, if you just get the base and you're not going to get the other two, you're just going to miss the rest of the story. And who knows if they'll do a second or third or a third or fourth printing.
Okay. Now, are you guys ready for the nitpicks?
I'll get
This is
nitpicky about
like, this is
JRPG, but
well,
I had
is
to
that
like
what you
look
want to
that
do?
up. Well,
JRPG?
so JRPG, I guessed that it was Japanese role playing game,
Mm-hmm.
but then I like had to look it up to verify, and it is. It does stand for Japanese role playing game. They use it a lot. Like they used it in their video. They used it actually on the page itself. And the problem with that term is JRPG doesn't tell you anything about it other than that it's got kind of like that anime look to it.
Right.
Because
The style.
there's a variety of games that would fall under. I mean, Dark Souls, the video game, and Pokemon are both Japanese role playing games. Those are very different games.
Right.
Like one of them is about your character and random encounters. The other one's just like a whole different genre. Like, so if I was to come to you and say like, hey, I really like RPGs. What's one that you'd recommend? You'd have no idea what to tell me because like it's not a real. I shouldn't say it's not a real genre. It's not a genre that's defined very easily. Besides, oh, it's a role playing game from Japan. That could be a variety of different styles. So like that drove me like a little crazy, insane. But essentially, they're saying that because of the art, it's got a very role play type, or there's a Japanese style role playing art in it.
So, I am torn about the art in this game, guys. I love
You like anime?
I love
art
anime.
way more than I do.
Like I watch animes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't let my kid watch a bunch of animes. I mean, like there's certain
Right.
ones I pick through for the kid.
Yeah, and I'm not
And
a huge anime person. I watch it occasionally, but
I'm not opposed to having a character concept like, for example, say a succubus or something look kind of succubusy,
yeah, you assume
And
there's going to be like a corset at least.
yeah, I mean, that's fine. What I do have a problem with is companies continually making games with hero characters that are female that are like half dressed. I just don't understand it because like you have a lot of women entering the board game market and even young women and stuff, and straight up I've had my kid tell me I don't want to play this game because like there's no cool characters for me to pick from,
Yeah,
which is
that's
like
happened.
a huge, I mean, it doesn't bother me because I've been like
You're
in
more used to it.
I'm used to it. I see it all the time. Like I grew up in that. Like that just is what it is. But like having a younger adult come in and saying, "Hey, like I don't want to play this male character and I want to play a female character, but like
she has
there's
to
just
look
nothing I
badass.
want." Yeah, exactly. You
She
just
doesn't want to play.
want to look badass.
She
That's
wants the
it.
character to have like
That's it.
yeah, to be like riding a motorcycle or have like a mohawk or something. She doesn't want to play like knee-high socks
Yeah.
schoolgirl.
And like they're almost there on this, and I don't dislike the art style. I love the look of the art. It has a dark horror fantasy look to it. Like I love all of that.
You just wish they had a better.
I
female
just
characters.
want like maybe some armor and less skirts.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And when I have a choice of playing Gloomhaven or Midaria, and I can't play Midaria with other people, like
Well, I would argue that you could play it with them, but there's going to be people that are going to be turned off by the art.
Right.
Just as much as there's people that turn on. I mean, obviously,
right,
a lot of people are turned on by the art. And
right.
they're backing it, kind of because of that. And then there's a lot of people that won't play it because of that. I don't think this art goes into offensive territory. It's kind of in that
Yeah, I
mid.
don't think it's offensive, and I
Right.
do think that they do have some of the men that are like not
Yeah, it
combat
kinda reminds me
ready
almost
either.
like Final Fantasy-esque type.
Probably.
Kind of close where you're like, why is that guy wearing an open vest? It doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do that with a sword fight. But on my perspective, the art doesn't really necessarily offend me, but it's a turnoff for me because I don't particularly like anime. So I'm not going to play this huge anime game. I want
Right.
I want like an actual fantasy art. I'd rather it be dark or horror or western or anything else. But I like it to be more realistic based or 100% cartoon based. I don't like that weird, which is where anime is. It's like cartoon based, like adult stuff, and I don't understand that. For me, it just doesn't work. I don't
And-
like it as much. That style in general.
So Leo says, as a guy, I don't buy games with that type of art because I don't want to put it in front of his wife and kids.
Yeah.
Totally
You feel
understandable,
like a little
and
awkward
that's
about it whenever your kid's
Yeah.
like, Mommy, why are they doing
Or
this? And
you
you're
get
like, ooh, I don't
nothing's
know.
worse than you open up the box and then it's a surprise and you're like, "Oh, we're not playing this today," or the kid's like, "What is that?" Like
Yeah,
it
that's
when it's
happened.
surprising, that's even worse because at least I know ahead of time and I can say, "Hey kid, so the art style is going to be like this. I understand if you don't want to play, but when you open the box and it's just like bam, there's like full anime up in your
So
face."
here, everyone knows that I'm the Amerithrasher, right? I really enjoy theme.
Yes.
So here's the thing for me on this particular game. The theme is a pass for me. I'm just not excited about the theme. It's not the
Really?
art necessarily. It's just the theme.
I
I feel like
thought
it's been done. But what I like about this game, the only thing that makes me even consider it, is the fact that you don't have like a character class like a
yes, I was
wizard.
just going to mention
You
that.
get to build your own. So you can.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like when you would play Morrowind.
Yeah, and you get to
What's the other one?
customize.
Not Skyrim, but the one before that. It was like the third Morrowind. It might have just been Morrowind.
Yeah, I think it
No,
was just
but I
Morrowind.
remember, and maybe it was Skyrim too. I remember running
Yeah.
around with full plate on,
Yeah.
a shield, and a sword, and doing touch spells.
Yes.
And that was like my
right?
favorite
And you were a
character.
battle mage.
Yeah, because I'd just run up and I'd be like, block, block, and then I'd be like, chilling touch, and they'd be like, "Bah," and they would die. And then if they didn't die, I'd be like, chop, 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 while my spells would be healing.
Right.
And I wasn't super strong that way, but like I could block,
It
and
was
then I
fun.
could chop whenever my spells were on cooldown and stuff.
Absolutely.
And it was fun getting to make like a kind of a weird, unique character. And so I liked that idea of it. I always liked the fact that like Dungeons and Dragons always had stuff where you're like, okay, you're an archer, and then you could be like an arcane archer where you're using like, oh, Oblivion.
Oblivion.
That's it. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, Gilbert.
Where you're playing and you're like, oh, cool. Like as you're playing it and stuff, and you're like, cool. Now I can be like an arcane archer. So now I have like magic spells that I shoot with my arrows instead of just being like a regular archer. I always liked that added thing, like being a swashbuckler instead of just being like I'm a rogue.
That's the huge thing on this one, why I was so sad, because I was reading about this one. I was reading all this stuff. I was like, oh, story driven, it's RPG style. I love that. Oh my God, I can create my own character. I was like, well,
Yeah.
let's look at these characters.
That part was really exciting.
Yeah, and I started looking through the characters. I was like, but I don't want to be any of these like base characters. And that's just where I fell. And I
Okay.
was like, oh man, like, because the art is fantastic in this, guys. Look at like this
It's pretty. I
airship
mean,
and
it's
stuff
well
is
drawn.
beautiful. And like I
But
said,
art's so subjective, though. Like for me, like I said, this art doesn't do anything for me. I'm like, it's a hard pass for me.
yeah, I love that gothic style look with it.
Okay.
So, Mage Sword is my favorite class.
Yes.
Hog.
It was a lot of fun, and I usually don't. I usually play like fighters, and then I kind of come back and I play like as a mage or as like a more of a like a rogue or a range or something. She usually plays wizard, so it was kind of nice, kind of being both.
We will not be backing this game. However, I don't think this is a bad game to back. I think that they've learned a lot through Kickstarter, so they're going to come
That
out with
helps.
a really great campaign. I think it is fantastic looking art. I think it's just for the right type of person, and I love the character customizations in this.
It's like anything else. Like you're not gonna play
But-
Cards Against Humanity with like your
Right.
mother-in-law or your child.
You
but
have
there's
to-
definitely a group for it if you want to play with that group. So if you've got the right group that wants to play, I think it's fine.
Right, and I think that's the base on this is you have to make sure that you're playing it with the right type of people for this particular game.
Which in reality, we play a lot of our games with mixed companies, like either couples or with kids or
Oh
at
my
conventions with big groups of people. So like our games tend to be more kind of open-ended where it's very family friendly. Or if it's not, it's super dark, then we have to like let everybody know that. Like, okay, this game is super dark. You can't have the kids around with this one. We don't really back a lot of those games like, Kingdom Death Monster, stuff like that are super like one way.
So we need a People of Walmart dungeon crawler, which
Oh
I'm
my
100%
gosh.
for. Why don't you make that? And we'll preview it for you.
That would be way more revealing and confusing too. You're like, I don't know what my character is, but it's weird. And it's got a mullet and like and it's wearing pajamas and somehow also like trousers. I'm very confused.
Okay, so our next one,
Suspenders? What am I thinking of?
continuing with my poo-pooing on games. I know, guys, I'm so sorry.
This one
in
surprised me that
advance.
you poo-pooed on
I'm
because
so sorry in advance.
we've backed some Sandy Petersen
Yes,
games.
I love Sandy Petersen games, guys.
So my biggest thing about this particular game, well,
Well,
let's go into
this
it.
is
Yeah,
a
explain it.
Petersen game. This is for 2 to 6 players. It's going to last about 90 minutes. The base price on this one is $79. This is another sort of big boxish style
Floor bomber.
game. Yeah, it's going to take a while to play and everything. And this one here, guys, though, it's on Tabletopia and it's PvP based. So you
Yeah.
have like one faction of chaos running around and doing things, and you have your order, running around trying to do things, than a big battle at the
Yeah,
end.
and it's got a good pedigree, obviously, because
Oh,
Sandy
absolutely.
Petersen has done like a ton of games. We've backed some of them. We have some. Actually, we have the space one,
Mhm.
Hyperspace, I think.
Yeah,
That's still going to get
we're waiting
fulfilled
on that one.
next summer.
Summer.
Um, so we like a lot of his style of games, and I thought it was kind of interesting how they did these characters, where you're like, okay, well these are the Gauls, these are the Nords, these are the Bushido clans. If they would have like stuck around to modern day, and they'd all have like their own armies and stuff, I thought that was kind of a cool idea. I've seen it done before, but it's still a cool idea. And I like that this game has like a two-part, where there's like the beginning part where you're kind of setting up for the ultimate battle, and like the better you do in the beginning part, the better you'll do like in the ultimate battle, where like you've got to
Right.
do some like kind of area control type of things in the beginning in order for the ultimate battle against evil. So I think all that's cool. My biggest thing for this particular game is I have another one of his games coming that I'm more interested in. It's like I don't feel the
You're
need to
like,
back
which are you
this
going to
one
get out to the
also.
table on that?
Yeah, like exactly. Like I mean,
They're
how
two different
many of them do
games,
you
though.
need? They are completely different, and I would probably still do maybe like Cthulhu Wars, because that one's got multiple expansions. It's a really big popular game. I don't feel like this one. This one didn't seem more exciting than the hyperspace one that we did. The hyperspace one seemed
Yeah, the
cooler
hyperspace one really drew me in. And where this one, I mean, I love PvP
because you have the different
battles,
factions
and
and
I
stuff.
love how you're doing. Well, it's like asymmetrical because you have different things that you're kind of doing. Well, but you don't have a goal, an asymmetrical goal, I guess. Kind of.
In which one? This game?
I'm thinking how asymmetrical this is. So because you are trying
It's
to create different things.
I mean, technically, whenever you've got like a light side, dark side, there's always like an asymmetricalness
and I like
to it, but it's not like true asymmetrical. I don't feel like when it's a two-player, it's true asymmetrical.
I like the modular style board tiles here, where you're always going to have a different game when you're playing because you flip those over and then there's going to have different things on them. I love all that.
I'm just not super into the PvP-ness of it. Like
Really?
just PvP for the sake of PvP.
You have to
We
play
have
with that
games like
at
that.
least 2 players or at least 4 players.
Yeah, and we have other PvP games. Like I was more excited about the one we backed last week, Super Fantasy Brawl, which is a PvP game.
Yeah, see, I wasn't super excited about that PvP game, but I would be more so with this one because the tiles are doing things.
You don't know the tiles 1, 2, 3, the other one. You're making assumptions. We're gonna have to a talk.
All right, guys. Here's why I don't like this game.
Well, hold on before you do that.
Oh, okay.
Before you do that.
Okay.
So this one does look interesting. I
Yeah.
just have another one of his games coming in, so I
Okay.
didn't feel a super need to like rush on this one or FOMO.
Yeah.
And I like the style of the other one better, where it was a 4X game, where this is PvP. So his 4X game, where you're exploring, exploiting, doing all that stuff, seemed more interesting than just a we're gonna fight each other area control type of game for me personally.
Right.
And take it away.
I think that this particular one is stronger as a PvP based game than the other one. Even though I know you really liked the other one, we backed it because you really wanted it for your birthday. So
We'll have to try them both out.
But
and
yeah,
see.
but I feel like this one is stronger as far as like
If you say
what
because
you're
of
doing
tiles,
in
I'm
the
gonna
game.
just leave.
Well, the other one you're just playing base cards down and then you're like doing things to people. This one here you have objectives that you're trying to clear and
The
stuff.
other one has objectives.
And
that
you're
move down a
leveling up
track.
characters and
You level up those characters
and
too.
then
They
this
get
one
better
has a better
abilities.
board. This one has a better board,
Ah.
okay?
Okay.
It's all about that board,
I
guys.
can pull up the other Kickstarter and I can just counterpoint you on everything.
We're going to compare. Okay, this one's
Yeah.
also available on Tabletopia, which I love because you can try it before you buy it there. So guys, what's up with the art with these games? I can't actually scroll all the way down this page. Like I'm gonna, I'm gonna move it over to our sitting cam because of the art, guys. If I can find my mouse. There we go. So
Most of the art is okay, but there's at least one particular
most of the art
piece.
is okay in this, except you get full nudity in this, guys. Like, I'm gonna have to scroll down this page so you guys can't see it because we got like a half PG thing.
That's
Let me
true.
get past the part here. So
If you're interested, there's a specific
Yeah.
piece, the Succubus, which
Succubus.
is towards the top of the thing, which Succubus are usually scantily clad.
yeah, which I
This
totally
one,
get.
In just model form, I didn't notice. I thought it was like a bra situation or like a bikini top type situation, but then the actual art on the card is just fully exposed
Just
chest.
nude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like, I mean, I play
This is one
board
that
games to play
I
with.
would have backed this
lots
one
of
not
people.
Right. I would have backed this one not seeing that because I
Yeah.
didn't notice it. You noticed it. And this is one of those ones that I would have been like, oh, cool. And the Succubus comes out. Whoa, okay. And like you're right, you couldn't play this
I
with
feel
certain
like
people.
at some point I'm being like prude, but like also play these board games with kids and people who are maybe religious, and like I play these games with everybody. Like I hate having to
Well,
have a
we try.
select group of people
Right, we
for
try
a
to
game.
foster right because we've got. I mean,
You
most of our
know?
friends are pretty okay with adult content, but we have to let them know because not everybody is. And you're right. There are quite a few people we play with that are like more on the religious side. Or another aspect is we
Yeah.
never exclude a game from our kids. So if we're playing it and
Right.
she
Our
wants to
kid plays
play,
anything that we
we
play,
let her
guys.
play. So this is one that like I'd
I-
have to tell her you can't play this one, or we'd have to wait till after she went to bed, just because of like that one thing. And it's not because she's never seen
There we
nudity,
go.
and it's not like she doesn't
Yeah.
know about nudity. It's just not something I want to play with my child. Just like I can discuss, facts about the birds and the bees, frank with her, and it's okay. I'm not like embarrassed about it, but I don't want to watch Game of Thrones with her.
Right, exactly. And it just becomes upon an embarrassment sort of thing
It's
with
probably
kids,
just
you know?
embarrassing for me and for her when you're like, this is kind of graphic, and it
And it
doesn't
was
do
just
anything.
surprising. It was just surprising
It
when I
doesn't
went
do anything
down.
to increase gameplay.
Not prudish at all.
If there's something that's being graphically added to a thing that's uncomfortable, but it enhances the story in
Yeah.
a meaningful way, and it's not just to make you angry or stupid, um, then I'm okay with it. But just nudity for nudity's sake is just kind of wasted.
Well,
It's just they do it just for the shock value, and I'm done being shocked
and
by it.
the minis look fantastic. Like the minis and the art
Yeah.
look fantastic. I just want to make sure that I can show that
He says
fantasticness
Dark
off
Fairy
to
2 is
everybody.
also another one in there, so don't
Oh,
keep
is
scrolling
it?
for that.
Oh gosh, okay. All right, we'll switch back over. I want to get down though to the part that I thought was really interesting on this that I really, really liked. Let me go back
She's
to our
gonna try to
setting
do the
cam.
scroll and not
I'm
give
gonna
you
do
guys all
super scroll
seizures.
so yeah, you know, guys
There's a
don't
lot
get
of
all
minis.
dizzy.
I do like the way he presents his Kickstarters as far as you can see all the different minis
They look
and they round
amazing.
table them and everything.
Go look on your own, guys, because like the
If you're
minis look
interested, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Like I'm not against this one. This one though, if you backed it, just have to be aware of that. We just try to let you know so you can be aware. And
You're
there
not,
might be
so you're not surprised.
there might be cards or figurines you might want to pull out of the base set
Yeah.
and keep it for like a not safe for work deck or
Yeah,
something.
exactly,
Which
exactly.
we've got games like
And
that.
you could do that. You could pull
We've
some of
got
those
games
out of
that
there.
have not safe for work decks included,
Yeah.
but we don't keep them mixed in with the regular cards because we don't
Mhm.
want to accidentally be like expose people to it who aren't ready or don't know about it.
It's just like
It's just
it's
common courtesy.
2019. We're moving on into 2020. Like, why is this still happening in games?
Yeah, I don't know. They should just sell it as a not safe for work pack or something, and then that's
That's
fine.
totally
like, you
fine.
can get
Just
like
have a little warning on it. Yeah.
yeah. So for example, you can get something like Joking Hazard or what's another card game? There's other card games. What was it?
The kittens.
Exploding Kittens,
Yeah.
and they have specific not safe for work.
Yeah.
Not safe for work.
And that's
they're
fine.
separate.
But
in
then
a
you know
separate
it's
deck.
separate. It's not part of the base game.
Right.
It's
So
like
when we
something
first
you can
play
get
it with somebody, we play
different.
the regular
Yeah.
one, and we say, hey, there's also a not safe for work deck that has, that's a little bit more graphic. Did you want to play with that one also? And if they're like, yeah, or they're like, no, I think I just like the base game, that gives them an easy out where you're not putting pressure on them to play something that they're not comfortable with because you just don't know where somebody else is at. And board gaming, hopefully, is moving towards being more inclusive and welcoming
for everybody, yeah.
because, I mean, if anything else, man, nerds already have it rough. We need to like help each other, right?
Right.
I mean, geek culture has been stomped on for years, and I'm not trying to say like I'm not trying to herald some geek revolution, but geek culture has been stomped on, and most people are most of us are already considered outsiders from normal people.
Right.
So like we need to make sure that we're being inclusive for each other and like have each
Like,
other's
help
backs,
each
'cause
other
we're already
out,
a
yeah.
small community. So like why
I agree.
segregate it even more?
Why segregate yourselves
Like,
in a small community?
It's like why
Yeah.
would you be like, well, I play only board games and you play Magic, so we can't be friends? We still have a lot to bond over. Like just don't go out of your way to push people away when it's already a very, very small community.
So I really like what they did here at the bottom of the campaign, guys, where they have their track record listed. They actually have the games that they fulfilled, when they fulfilled them, when it was kickstarted.
and the different progress.
Yeah, and they have the progresses on here. Guys, I love this. And I'm wondering if they did this to help combat
The idea
the
that they have
Kickstarter
100,
stuff that's going on.
we have 100
yeah,
games
because
out.
they do have a couple of them here
And
that
we've reviewed a couple of these games. We reviewed Stratopolis too.
Yeah,
Stratopolis?
yeah, that one was
Stratopolis?
interesting because it was another spatial thing that you fit together
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
We reviewed that one, and then Hyperspace is the one that we've kickstarted, and
Yeah.
we did the second tier to get like 2 extra factions or something like that.
And they have a bunch of stuff. But I love that they're very upfront with this. And I'm wondering though if more game companies are going to start doing this because of everything that's been happening on Kickstarter lately, with things getting canceled and kind of like I
this
don't know.
probably can help with that, or at least because I think a lot of what happens is somebody goes, "Oh man, this company has 5 outstanding Kickstarters," and then they complain to Kickstarter, and then Kickstarter looks at it, and then they shut down the
And they go,
campaign.
oh crap, they
With
do.
this, if somebody scrolls down to the bottom of it, you can go, "Oh, yeah, they've got a lot of different stuff out, but it says exactly where they're all at in the process," and you go, oh, "Okay, well, looks like they're making progress on all these things," and you don't feel that, "Oh no, they're not going to deliver this."
Right, because they've had 2 giant Kickstarter games in 2019 so far. It's already halfway through the year. So I can see the need for them being able
I
to
guess
do
that's
this
true.
and being very like upfront with everything, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
Because
both of those are huge, huge Kickstarters.
this
And
is
this is
another
another
company
huge
that
one.
exists on Kickstarter pretty much. Without Kickstarter, it wouldn't exist.
Right.
So I agree.
May contain joking hazards. That's true. We need a warning on our channel. We're not too bad. We're not too bad
Try to be good.
anymore. I was in on this game and the creator died a week after the campaign ended. Yeah. That's a shame. That's terrible.
I did not know that.
Well, in on a game and the creator died. So not this
Oh.
one, on a different one is what he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, on a different one.
I'm like, Sandy Petersen died? I didn't hear
No,
about
no,
that.
no.
I feel like that would have made news.
Yeah, no. It was a different one.
That can
So
happen, but that's kind of like tragic life stuff that happens, car accidents. You can't really plan for any of that.
overall, this particular game, I feel it is stronger than like Fantasy Brawl that I saw last week, although you don't think that's the case. So a little bit of difference in
There,
what we like there.
different style games too. Like you can't compare Arcadia Quest from Come On, where you're kind of like chibis and you're kind of very like light gameplay.
That's
and
a
dungeon
sort
crawl,
of PvP style
versus
game.
Gloomhaven. They're just different games. They're different.
Yeah, but these ones are in the
different
same
weights.
PvP market. If you did Arcadia Quest and then
So
you
Arcadia
did
Quest and Gloomhaven are both dungeon crawlers. They're the same game, just different levels of complexity.
kind of.
Yeah. Okay. That's as close as we're
Well,
gonna get. That's
okay.
as close as we're ever gonna get to it. You're right, Dr. Gloryhogg.
This
That was
one,
it.
this one here, I do like. I think it looks interesting. I would be super excited to back it, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to back
Backers beware.
because
Unity
I'm going
abounds.
to play it with my kid and stuff like that, and not just the succubus and then what was it, the fairy or something
There
that
needs
was
to
in
be
there.
like
There were some other weird ones in there that
there
I was
needs to
just
be like a
what?
naked minotaur in this too. Like I want it to be scary naked,
No,
where you're like, oh my
you're
god,
like, oh my gosh,
ooh,
the Minotaur.
clutch my pearls. Oh my gosh, that's what I want. If we're gonna do it, go all out. No, all right.
A
Well, then
full, the full,
I guess just pass on it then.
the
full Monty,
NSFW set is just the full naked miniature set.
it's just the minotaur dragging his club, if you know what I'm saying. It's just his battle axe is
Oh
ready.
my gosh. So yeah, guys, it's 2019. Like, let's just make some games that everybody can enjoy, or at least have like a label on there. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't talk about
It's
this on
super
the
easy
Dice
to
Tower.
make it where you could have a thing that says right, because yeah, you definitely don't want to play something on the Dice Tower because it's definitely family friendly.
Yeah.
They could just have it behind a thing that just says "click to see more," not safe for work, so you can click on it. Because even me, I look at some of this stuff while I'm at work on my lunch break and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I
you
was
don't
to
need
be
to be scrolling
through this
and you're
like
looking.
and I stopped and then my boss
You're
was
looking
by,
at the
they're like,
one, yeah.
yeah, and my boss is like, "What are you looking at?" Like I could get in trouble, and I know it's stupid and it shouldn't really be a thing because we're all adults and
Right,
everything.
right.
Like I'm the youngest person there at 37, but still,
Oh.
it's a thing.
Okay, so Robert mentions on another note, how did you feel about Hollywood Death Race not being delivered?
Well, of course we're sad about it. I
super
mean,
upset
we
about it.
backed it. We wanted it to succeed.
I was so excited about that game, guys, because
We
I
passed
wanted.
on other games because of it. Because
We
we're like, oh,
did.
we already have Hollywood
We
Death
did.
Race coming, so we don't really necessarily need like Wacky Racers, maybe.
Yeah.
Or now I'm like, we got to get a hold of Wacky Racers.
Right? So with that game, and it sucks because they had a couple of games in the works at that point, and
Yeah,
then
the
they're like,
company
yeah,
just
this is
folded.
not going to work out. And they're saying that they're going to give the money back to the backers and everything, minus the Kickstarter, the money that
it's like
Kickstarter took
10%,
out,
I
which is
think it is.
10%. Yeah.
Which is, it just is what it is. You got to remember, Kickstarter is not a pre-order system. You are funding a dream, and sometimes dreams can fail. Most of these companies are not professional companies.
I'm super upset that it's not going to be delivered because I want the game. And I feel
Right.
like that there was other things going on behind the scenes because they basically said, oh, because of the new shipping tariffs and stuff, that's why we're not delivering. And I have the feeling that there was much more involved in that, and maybe it was too large of a campaign that they got
Yeah.
invested in. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, crap. I don't know how we're going to do this, because they had a lot of crazy miniatures and stuff like that going on,
Right.
and it was spoofish. So I don't know if there was other things that got
I don't
involved
think there
with
was
that.
legal stuff with that. I think it
I
was
have no
just
idea with that.
it sounded more like it was bigger than they thought,
I
and that there
think
was
so.
more cost involved than they thought there was going to be, and it ended up not being viable. And then the whole company kind of shut down over it. So,
Right.
but it sounded like they had some other issues with like a previous campaign too that probably was a part of it. And the
So
person just seems like they were just like, pull the cord. This is just going to get worse. I'm just going to lose money.
they're saying that they're going to give the money back to the backers minus the 10%, and I hope 100% that fully goes through, because they were very upfront in that portion of it, like, hey, we don't want to ruin the reputation of any of our designers, we
Yeah.
don't want to ruin the reputation of our artists and all these other people involved in the project, just because the fact that we didn't deliver this game. But overall, I'm kind of heartbroken about it, because that was one of the games I was really, really looking forward to getting
Yeah.
at home, because we don't have a go-to racing style game, and I loved
Yeah.
the combat portion of it where you're like trying to impede. It was like what is the game we've been playing? You're driving
Mario
along.
Kart?
Yeah, it's like Mario Kart,
We
the board
literally played it
game.
yesterday.
I know. My brain is
Yikes.
like off. It's like a little version of Mario Kart except on a board game, and I was super
With really
excited
cool
about
spoofy
that.
characters, which would be great to run
Yeah.
around with.
Yeah, so
But
I'm super sad.
I was all about the 18.
Aw. And then they
Oh,
lost their own race.
Wow. MM's back.
That deserves a clap. That was good. I love
You get a very
that.
small clap from
Good
me.
job.
That was. She likes puns and all that a lot more.
Yeah, I do. So
I'm just a jerk. I don't like anything.
out of all the stuff though that we end up backing and stuff, you're gonna have those in there.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Obviously, we started this because
Yeah.
we wanted to help fund other people's ideas.
Yeah.
And get really unique, different games. And that's why it kind of all started. Then it kind of snowballed into a show. But we were doing Kickstarter before the show and everything.
Well, and I wanted to inform people as I'm going through and doing all this research and looking at all these things. I'm like, other people should know. And I like having that collaborative thing where if I don't notice something on something, might come in or Vincent might come in and be like, hey, did you see this? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. Maybe I won't back this game.
We get bi-weekly reports from, or not bi-weekly, I guess. I don't know what it'd be like, twice a week reports from Alan on what's
That's
going
right.
on
That's
the
right.
Kickstarter,
Alan,
so
he reports back on things. I mean, I love that, and I love that community building with it, because Kickstarter is a community built project, and like there's not really like a Kickstarter police. It's been a little bit more policed now.
yeah, it's kind of like the Wild West in a way where
It is.
there's
and
definitely been some stuff that's not been the best.
I think as a community, we need to help each other out with this, Like, I think that's really important. So
So we're just sad that somebody's dream didn't get funded, but hopefully they'll release it to another company that maybe can fulfill it, maybe in a different scale. Maybe it'll just go to retail.
I hope so. I hope another
That'd be
company
cool.
picks it up.
And
That
if
would
they
be really
return the
nice.
money, that's always nice, because
Yeah.
they don't technically have to. So
Yeah, that's right.
there's-
Absolutely.
they're not running off with it as far as we know. So they're doing what they can do. It happens.
So Alan's also asking you. You don't talk expansions, but DrGloryhogg, you were dropping a lot of role player hints in the last 2 weeks.
I don't feel like I was.
You don't feel like you
no.
were? No.
I don't know what Alan's talking about.
Role
Alan's
players.
crazy.
Role players super hot right now, guys. If you haven't seen it on Kickstarter,
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, we typically
And-
don't cover expansions.
right?
Just because, they don't necessarily need our help. They don't need to
They
get
usually have a fan
a
base
spotlight
already.
from us or anything else. Right.
Yeah.
If you already know about like Raccoon Tycoon, if you already know about it and you see Raccoon Tycoon, you're either going to back it or not based on if you like the original game.
Right.
They don't need us kind of promoting them for them. But that happens with all games, even like really big games. Like we jumped in on the expansion for Everdell, and but we didn't talk about it because it was an expansion, but we backed it.
Here, I'll pull it up right here. What do you think about it, though? I think is what Alan's asking.
I haven't looked at it enough to give an informed opinion, honestly. I would need to spend some time with it. I've heard good things about Role Player. I just haven't actually played it or looked into it.
I know that a ton of people are backing this game,
Yeah.
like a ton of people, and everybody
Aw,
that's played the
Tyrannosaurus.
original and stuff has loved it.
Werewolf.
I don't like dice games, guys, so I always veto.
Look at
I
that badger.
vetoed this the
Look
first
at that
time.
badger. Look at that badger. Look at it.
Yeah, I vetoed this the
Oh
first time
my
with
God.
DrGloryhogg because I was like, I'm not gonna play a game that's based on rolling a bunch
Oh
of
my
dice.
God,
Like,
look
I'm
at
not gonna
that
do
tree
it.
person. There's a tree person.
It reminds me of what was that one rolling game where we had a bunch of dice and we would like basically like specialize on the certain dice? It was before WizKids started doing all
Talking about
sorts of
Quarriors?
things. Yeah, Quarriors.
Which is the
It
same
reminds
thing.
me of like that, except with a fantasy sort of base on it, and then where
Quarriors
you can
is
upgrade your characters and stuff like that, and upgrade your dice.
yeah.
Like that's what it reminds me of. I think if you're interested in those Ameritrash super heavy rolling style games, like you should totally back this game, you know, because I believe they have a pledge level where you can get everything.
Whew.
But I am not. I
I
am
need to
not.
stay away from those pledges where you get everything.
It gets hardcore there, guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys.
Dice Masters, what you're thinking of. So it was Quarriors, and
Yes.
then WizKids
And then
changed it to
WizKids
Dice
changed it to
Masters,
Dice
and added
Masters
like
and did a
Marvel
whole bunch of
theme,
stuff there.
X-Men
Yeah.
theme,
We
comic
had
themes.
an amazing time with you guys. Thank you for everybody that showed up today and talked to us in the comments. We have the
Thank you for not being hungover after.
well,
4th of
yeah, I
July.
guess so, right? No, well, not everybody here is from.
I knew Vincent would be here.
Yeah, because he wouldn't be hungover.
Vincent spent all day yesterday just like drinking tea, probably being like stupid Americans.
Alan, I think if you like those Ameritrash sort of games, I would definitely get it because I've heard a ton of really great stuff about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I still might look into it and try to
Mhm.
talk her into
We're
it.
also, I think we're going to be doing a Blood Bowl. We're not going to be hosting the Blood Bowl League, but if you guys like Blood Bowl online, I think we're going to be playing that.
Yeah.
And that's like
Do you
all
want me to-
across the U.S.
Do you want me to post something from Gloryhound about it?
You sure can. I mean,
Okay.
ask Richard first and see
No.
about it. No, and just start posting all sorts of stuff.
Each show, thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
You're
And
welcome, Vincent.
where can we find you at, Dr. Gloryhogg?
Here, I'm at the house.
Here at
right
the house.
now.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. We're gonna be at Crit Hit this weekend, which is the Arizona convention.
Oh yes, we're gonna be a crit hit, and
Um,
probably doing some live stream stuff on the Silver Key
Lounge page.
Lounge page.
Depending on
probably.
how all that stuff works out.
We'll see.
But Facebook, Instagram, you can find me. I mean, if you message her, it'll get to me.
Yep.
Or you
absolutely.
can find me, Dr. Gloryhogg, all over the place.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. We will see you next week.